significant developments in major UK court cases, new findings from an international investigation, and fresh scrutiny of policing and public institutions. We'll also have the latest on political decisions at Westminster and new figures on channel crossings. It's Saturday the 13th of December 2025. My name is Katie, and these are your news headlines. In the northeast of England, 5 men have been jailed for raping and sexually assaulting 6 girls aged 13 to 15 in Gateshead between 2014 and 2019. The offences centred around Saltwell Park, where the grooming gang supplied victims with alcohol and cocaine. An 8-week trial at Newcastle Crown Court resulted in a total of 31 convictions. Sentences ranged from 18 months to 14 years. Northumbria Police praised the victims' bravery, composure and dignity, saying their childhoods had been snatched from them in the cruelest of ways. A 6th man was acquitted. Elsewhere, a doctor has been charged with a series of sexual offences involving 38 patients, including a child under 13. Nathaniel Spencer, aged 38, faces a total of 45 assault charges. The alleged offences took place between 2017 and 2021 at Royal Stoke University Hospital and Russell's Hall Hospital. The Crown Prosecution Service says there is sufficient evidence to bring the case to trial. Spencer will appear at North Staffordshire Justice Centre on the 20th of January 2026. A major new report by Amnesty International has concluded that Hamas committed crimes against humanity during its October 7th, 2023 attack on southern Israel, including murder, torture, rape and inhumane acts. Amnesty interviewed 70 people, visited attack sites and reviewed over 350 videos and photographs. Around 1,200 people were killed in the attack and more than 250 were taken hostage. Of those, 168 returned alive. The rest died in captivity. Hamas denies the allegations. Israeli officials have not yet commented. Amnesty International has also previously found that Israel committed genocide in Gaza, a claim Israel rejects. A new report by right-wing think tank Policy Exchange accuses the Metropolitan Police of prioritising the rights of protesters over the rights of the public, leading Londoners to believe the force has lost control of the streets. The report highlights low detection rates, i.e. 1 in 20 robberies have been solved, 1 in 13 shoplifting offences, and 1 in 179 muggings. The report stops short of calling for Sadiq Khan to step down, the London mayor, but it does recommend stripping him of his powers over the Metropolitan Police and transferring responsibility to the Home Office. Policy Exchange argues that the current arrangements have contributed to what it calls two-tier policing and a loss of public confidence. The Met rejected the claim, saying crime is falling, with theft, robbery and vehicle crime down 15%, knife-enabled crime down 16%, and homicide at a 10-year low. The Mayor's office said Sadiq Khan is investing £1.16 billion in policing this year. Girlguiding UK is facing renewed criticism after an internal email revealed the creation of a new trans task force focused on trans girls, trans young women and trans women, with no equivalent task force for girls and no safeguarding plan as of yet to reassure parents or volunteers. The email, shared with this publication, offers little clarity for families who rely on Girlguiding as a single-sex space. and does not confirm whether the previous rule still applies. The rule that allowed trans-identifying members, including adult males, to use female toilets, showers, changing areas and sleeping spaces. Volunteers say this omission leaves them unable to reassure parents or explain what sex-based boundaries remain. At a protest of 100 people in Edinburgh today, one speaker was Lauren, a non-binary former member who said they could no longer be part of Girlguiding. Some critics have noted that if Lauren were female, or maybe even intersex, they would still be eligible under the new rules. By publicly stating that they cannot join, they have in effect outed themselves as male, because non-binary is a gender identity, not a sex category. Volunteers say this highlights the confusion created when an organisation treats gender identity as more important than biological sex. They argue it is infantile to treat non-binary as a membership category when safeguarding frameworks recognise sex, not identity, as the relevant factor. Parents and carers have not yet been officially informed of the policy change. Volunteers say they are being left to manage confusion and emotional fallout while families remain in the dark. Critics warn that Girlguiding is now building policy around gender identity, not the needs of girls as a sex class. Trade unions have condemned Conservative peers for again voting down Labour's Employment Rights Bill, calling it undemocratic and a defiance of the public will. The bill originally promised day one protection from unfair dismissal, but Labour accepted a 6-month qualifying period. Tory peers have now forced a review of the £118,000 compensation cap before it can be abolished. Union leaders called the Lord's actions cynical wrecking tactics and warned the bill must pass before Christmas. And finally, migrants have been photographed arriving in Dover after the longest period without small boat crossings in 7 years. Up until today, no crossings had taken place for 4 weeks, the longest stretch since 2018. So far this year, 39,292 people have crossed the Channel, the second highest annual figure on record. More than 187,000 have arrived since records began. The government says it aims to cut crossings by 2029 with new asylum rules and a one-in, one-out pilot scheme with France that is already underway. Those are your news headlines for today, Saturday, 13th December. If you appreciate no bias, no bullshit reporting, please like, comment, subscribe, share, etc. All that good stuff. Thank you very much for listening, and I will speak to you again on Monday.